Take 3. Let me be perfectly honest with you here. I'm out of the loop, completely out of the loop. I've been on holiday, basically. So all the other videos I've been watching for the last, 8-9 days, I pre-recorded before I went. West Ham are so predictable, you can sort of get away with that stuff. Gio jumped in the other day, and thank you very much to Gio for doing that, for putting a video out there. But I've been out of the loop. It's actually the longest I've ever had since we started doing this as a job. The longest I've ever had, 8 days without doing videos, believe it or not. And, I sat down here today in this squeaky old chair. It's not me farting. Sat back in my squeaky old chair. I thought, how do we do this? But my knowledge isn't there. I've not had Wi-Fi, not had 4G, all of that stuff. What's the news? What's going on? And the thing that really caught my attention was Luis Guilherme. Now, you all know, because you don't know more than I do, because you're all in the loop. Luis Guilherme is a Palmeiras winger. A wonder kid, one of their many wonder kids apparently that Palmeiras have got. Apparently not so many wonder kids that they're doing well in the league, but anyway, the really important wonder kid is someone called Kendrick, but apparently he's off to Real Madrid anyway. But it's Luis Guilherme we've been linked to. Didn't know anything about him. I like this. I like the fact that we would go out and we would try and scout younger talent. This is really, really important. This is why Tim Steidten's there. He's flown over to, not like that, like in a plane, but he's flown over to Brazil to go and scout this player and everybody else in Brazil, apparently. Good stuff. But it's really the transfer fee that particularly caught my attention, though, because it's 30 million euros. Well, as Fabrizio Romano said, it was 30 million euros plus a 20% sell-on fee or something like that. We're looking at a big transfer deal. Put that 20% with the 30 million euros. It's a lot of money. It's not really punt money, is it, though? That's what I was thinking. When I think of like a scouting system or something like that, I'll tell you what, that Ibrahim Osman, the guy that was playing over in Denmark or Norway, where we went over, we almost signed, and then Brighton have ended up signing him. That was sort of punt money, wasn't it? £12 million. 30 million, well, that's sort of what we played for Mohamed Kudus, isn't it? And Mohamed Kudus wasn't really a punt. You think when you're paying 30-odd million, then it was really Ajax that took the punt on him. He plays well for Ajax for a couple of seasons. We sign him. And then this guy, this Luis Guilherme, is meant to be, apparently, or so I've read, is meant to be Mohamed Kudus's replacement when he can be sold in 2025, when his buyout clause can be activated. But I thought about it, well, they're very, very different, because Kudus has already proven himself. Totally, at Ajax. So it's really, Ajax buy him for the small money. We paid the 30 million, and then whatever, Real Madrid buy him off of us for 85 million, 100 million, whatever it is. You want a bit of a certainty, I'm thinking, for 30 million. Now, you can't have it both ways, by the way. I'm not overly moaning about it. I'm just wondering, maybe a little bit concerned about it, because if all West Ham have got, as we're led to believe, is 100 million in a transfer budget, that's small. It's pretty much a third of it. If you're going to include agents' fees and whatever, the 20% and whatever, it's a third of it. It's a third of our transfer kitty. Now, like everybody else, I'm going to go and have a look at him. I saw people getting excited on social media. The clips, 30-second clips you see here and there, they're good. He looks quick, lots of tricks and flicks, rainbow flicks and flicking it over people's heads. Brilliant. But you can't trust that stuff. So what I thought I'd do is I'd go and I'd have a little look on YouTube and find out a little bit more about him. You know how these YouTube videos go? Not these ones. That means the ones where they're doing scouting for players. You get 30 seconds of music at the start. Then you get some close-ups, some moody shots, some celebrations. Then you get a little sequence of some tricks and flicks. Then you get the assists, and then you get the goals. So I've watched the video. I've sat through 30 seconds of crap music. I've watched the moody shots and all the rest of it. Seen some of the tricks and flicks. Well, yeah, okay, I saw those, and I saw those on social media. Okay, I'm just going to wait for the goals. The goals didn't come. The assists didn't come. There's a bloody good reason for that. There are no goals and there are no assists. Well, I'd tell a lie. A bit sensationalistic that. There was one goal, which was in the Copa Libertadores. Funny enough, they didn't feature that on the video, which was quite ironic. And that's about it, because he hasn't really done anything. Now, I get it. He's 18. What more could he have done? But he's not the only player we've been linked to recently. So the other player we get linked to is Wesley. Now, Wesley plays for Corinthians. And ironically, in their last game, they both played in the same position. So both their games in the Brazilian League, which has only just started. There's been 6 games been played in the Brazilian League this season. But they have played some Copa Libertadores, as I said, and they've played some what's it called? The Copa do Brasil. There've been some matches in that as well. So I think by and large, some of these players have played, between 10 and 15 games so far this season. Now, Wesley, who have been linked with, he's got some goals, he's got some assists. And what's he got? So he's got 2 league goals. He's got 1 in the Copa do Brasil. He's got some assists, and he's got another goal in the Copa Sudamericana, which I haven't got a clue what it is, but it sounds great, doesn't it? The other guy we get linked with is Jota Silva. Jota Silva plays for Vitória in Portugal. He's got plenty of goals and he's got plenty of assists, put it that way. So it's really weird. I think that we would be looking to invest so much money in somebody who is completely unproven. And I get it. When you're scouting players, that's what you do. That's the whole point of scout. They're unproven, but they don't normally cost 30 million. Now I started to look a bit more. I think, this must be the most outstanding young player in Brazil. He's not even the most outstanding young player at Palmeiras, apparently. He's called Kendrick, and I believe he came on, he scored against England. I actually watched the game, and I probably should remember the game. That was also, who played in that? Bruno played in that game as well, who is the defender that we can't quite manage to sign at the moment from Brazil. Tim Steidten has been back and forth. We knew that Tim Steidten flew to Brazil twice in between... I think it was in between the last 16 and the quarter-final, quite possibly, of the Europa League this season. So he's been out there a lot. He's back out there now. Some people are saying he's there to sort of resurrect the Bruno deal. Who knows on that one? Some people to say to get the Wesley deal over the line. Some people to say to get the Luis Guilherme deal over the line. We're not going to sign all those players. We're certainly not going to sign both of those young Brazilian wingers. Guilherme is 18. Wesley is 19. Wesley's got a little bit more playing time behind him. It's a really funny one. Look, I want us to sign young players. I want us to sign young, talented players. I really, really do. These have to work out. When you spend £30 million on a player, and you particularly spend £30 million on a player in these times of PSR and financial fair play, you can't afford to get it wrong. Yeah, you really, really can't, because it affects your balance sheet, it affects your profit and sustainability. You can't have a Nikola Vlasic, can you? And I know it's a very, very different signing to Nikola Vlasic as well. I don't know. I'd be very surprised if we sign this guy. I really would. But maybe, just maybe, the truth is somewhere in the middle. If Fabrizio Romano's saying it, then it may be true. I know he blotted his copybook slightly, because when a transfer is about to happen, he says, here we go. And he said, here we go on Bruno, and well, we don't go quite so much. Maybe that's down to the club. Maybe the club are being a little bit stingy. I know, I think on Gio's video the other day, did he mention that we'd offered 15,000, something like that, as a wage? Let's be fair. Look, you and me would love £15,000 a week. However, you know, when you're trying to get these families to uproot, these players to uproot from South America, they want to bring their families with them. I mean, they get very isolated over it if they don't, and, you know, I'm not sure 15 grand a week as a Premier League footballer is quite going to cut him. That probably makes him... Look, I'd like to be so skint that I only had 15 grand a week, but in Premier League footballer terms, I don't know, everyone else driving a Lamborghini, and you're probably driving a Volkswagen Passat. Nothing wrong with it. Lovely car. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. I'm not so much anymore. He drives a Passat and a Lamborghini, apparently. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe the truth is in the middle. Maybe actually it's if everything happened and became a world star, then it was 30 million euros. Maybe we're not going to pay him loads of wages. And actually, when you look at the structure of the deal, you might well find it's, I don't know, 18 million up front with the rest of add-ons if we qualify for Europe and stuff like that. If it is structured like that, no problem at all. I wouldn't be concerned about it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter if I've got a problem or I don't have a problem. It's up to the club to do it. And I guess I should be excited when this sort of thing happens, right? I don't like it when we buy these journeyman players. I hate it. So you can't have it both ways. I can't complain about that and then complain when we're signing young players. So I think that's good. I think I'd like to see a little bit more. Hopefully he hits the ground flying. Is that right? I don't know. Well, with some goals and some assists, ideally. I don't know if we heard the last of this. I really, really don't. I think there's a lot of twists and turns on this one, and maybe, just maybe, Fabrizio Romano might be wrong again.